podcast is live.
Hey everyone, welcome to Tactical Tuesday. This week we are in the middle of Manitoba somewhere. Started our cross-country trip today or yesterday, so we are on our way. And so yeah, we've stopped along the road somewhere. We have some special guests today. Hey Mel, nice to see ya. Oh, and I'm gonna bring up Facebook on my phone so I can actually see who's talking to me. That's always helpful for me. So yeah, Mel and Rachel, we're heading out to see you guys. Can't wait, pretty exciting. So hey Sean from Whitby, right on. Oh, Saskatoon, we had such a nice dinner with Angie and Andrew last night, guys. If you haven't met Angie and Andrew yet, you really need to. Just amazing investors, but you know, they're that good humans. They're willing to help, they're willing to share. So great stuff. So yeah, say hi guys, tell me where you're from. We're gonna come all the way to the East Coast. So yeah, let me know. Okay, so hey Tina, yeah, good to see ya. Paula, yay, awesome. Okay, so today what we're doing is celebrating. Well, I'm not going to break the news. I'm going to let someone else break the news for some part, but we are celebrating a book launch today. So it's a book that I've been privileged to to put a chapter in for. So that's great. There's 10 women across Canada, investors that have changed their lives through real estate. So every one of us has a different story. It's kind of cool. But the thing that's in common is that every one of us used real estate as a tool to fulfill a different purpose of what we needed to go on in our lives. And so we've got a couple of the co-authors. We've got Liza. She's from WREN. Well, I'm just going to bring them on and introduce you guys to them. So we will bring you on here. There we go. Hey guys.
Hello. Hi everybody. Nice to see you. So exciting to be here.
Thanks for having us.
Well, it's been an exciting day. It's been lots of stuff. I'm just gonna try and take this banner off. Hang on here. Okay, let's do that instead. There we go. All right, and Elisa. Okay, so Liza Rogers from out on the West Coast, from Vancouver Island. You are with WREN. Tell us a quick little bit about WREN, why you started WREN, and what your vision and purpose is for it.
You betcha. So first of all, Tiffany, thrilled to be here with you, one of our fabulous co-authors on the book that we launched on Amazon today, From Ordinary to Extraordinary. And Elisa Choi, another fabulous author who co-authored the book with us. And so we've got chapters in the book. And an announcement, I might as well just make big announcement because we're so excited, we can hardly contain ourselves. We've made it to #1 on Amazon today in 3 categories. So we're super excited, and we know that that's just going to hold strong for a couple more days. So yeah, so really exciting. So to answer your question,
thank you guys all for your support, guys. Thank you.
Yes, thank you everybody. If you bought a book, thank you very much. It's cheapest chips on Amazon today. It's like $2.60 Canadian and $1.99 US. And of course, if you need the link, I'm sure we can provide it for you. So
we will.
Thanks for your support, everyone. So just to answer Tiffany's question. Yes, what is WREN? So WREN is the Women's Real Estate Network. I started it, gosh, it's got to be 6 years ago now. And I started it after attending a number of different educational events that were teaching us about how to invest in real estate. But I realized they were all coming from very much the man's perspective. And not that there's anything wrong with that, but women do things a little bit differently. So I wanted to just kind of take a temperature about what women were looking for when they were looking to invest in real estate and find out what was missing from that mix. So the #1 thing was collaboration. You know, women love to collaborate, love to do things together. And we have a more holistic approach to investing in real estate. So when you look at stats, it's like when you invest in a woman, she invests back into the community at a much greater rate than men. So I started WREN because I was seeing so many women who were being left out of the whole investor opportunity. And we've just been growing ever since. And today, with the book coming out with women from all across Canada, we want to get a movement going across Canada to get as many men, women, people investing in real estate and learning how it can, impact your lives, create that lifestyle and give you that investor lifestyle. Hey, Tiffany?
Right? Yes. Yeah. I mean, that's why we all do this. We all do this because we have an ideal in our minds of what we think is our best life, and living that investor life is important to us, but sometimes we forget that we have the choice to make it or break it. So love what you've been doing and bringing all these women together across Canada. Elisa is one of them. So I had the privilege of reading your chapter, Elisa, already. So love what you're doing. So you bring a whole new element to it, which I'd love to, get into a little bit, but tell us kind of who you are and where you come from the perspective of an investor.
For sure. I actually grew up, as you saw in my chapter, witnessing my parents investing in real estate. And although it wasn't a career choice for me, I got into multicultural marketing strategies and, working at different ad agencies and working at different media outlets. But when I really analyzed, where the opportunity lied and that I didn't want to have a full-time job that tied me down, I went back to real estate. Like, that was the answer. That was the tool that I could use, still have the freedom that I wanted, and still be able to build a nest egg for my daughter. So that's awesome. what I did.
Okay, and so guys, in case you missed it, jumping on just a titch late, the book Ordinary to Extraordinary was launched today on Amazon. It's a collab book that Liza has brought together for us. 10 different women, 10 Canadian women, 10 different stories, all of us using real estate to accomplish what we're needing to in our lives. Elisa, like you said, you had a, you wanted to take care of your daughter. You had a very certain thing. And what I love about it is, in reading your guys' chapters, we all went through different adversities and we all came into these, issues and problems, and we were all able to use real estate. Now, you used real estate in a different way, Elisa. So let's just kind of touch on that for a second, because you use a couple of terms that I just was like, wow, this is so cool. So you use terms like the loneliness pandemic before COVID-19. You called it a loneliness pandemic. So tell us about that.
Yeah, thanks for touching on that. And I'm surprised that it jumped out at people, at you, but it is definitely a pandemic. In fact, loneliness has been quoted to have this same health risk as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. So that's how much, if you don't have social interaction or feel a sense of connection to others or people in your community, it has detrimental effects to your mental health, your mental well-being. Yeah, and with the co-living space that I've created, that's how people can live together and support each other.
And just to add to that, if I can, about the loneliness issue, like, it seriously is, it was a global pandemic before the pandemic. One of the things that we've talked about, Elisa and I are in the same mindset about how many people are alone at both ends of the age spectrum. Young people are committing suicide at a greater number because they feel so alone and isolated. Elderly people either living in homes or living in their own home, but not having social connection, are dying earlier because they're not getting the community connection that they need. So it really is something that is a massive issue globally, and especially in the more developed, privileged countries, because in poorer countries, people are naturally together. They live with each other. They spend time with each other. In our so-called, growing economy, where we're all supposed to be proud of living in our silos in our single-family homes, it's a much greater issue. So it's great when people pick up on that, because it is certainly such something that Elisa and I talk about all the time, right, Elisa?
Absolutely.
So what I really found interesting is that when I talk to a lot of women that are investing in real estate, and even I put in our Fearless in this group here on Facebook, hey, what are your biggest challenges in investing? And it was amazing how many people said, well, I'm alone. A lot of people that are successful in investing, they're investing with a spouse. I don't have one. I'm on my own. Can I still do this on my own? So let's talk about that, because we hear that all the time from so many people. But yet I've seen from our Ignited members, we have a lot of solopreneurs in our group there, solo investors, and you guys both come from a place. So Liza, let's talk about your story a little bit, where you kind of said, I am alone and I don't really want to be in this. I want to invest with others. So what did you do about it?
Yeah, absolutely. So the common, one of the very common threads in the book is the importance of team, right? And again, as a woman, we naturally like to collaborate. For me personally, I've chosen to be single, chosen to not have children, chosen to, travel around the world and live this very great, cool, independent location, independent lifestyle. And I kind of joke sometimes with people and I say, I retired, traveled around the world, worked at Olympic Games, worked on cruise ships and had all kinds of fun. And then I needed to figure out, what I was going to do when I grew up. So I'm just getting there now. And hence, real estate becoming the solution. But, I literally was like, oh, well, how am I ever going to get ahead? As a single person, it's hard to get ahead on a single salary. As a single person with a very small family up until recently, that's a whole other story. With a very small family, who do you count on to help you out, to, support you in that process? And the other thing that I looked at is, my mom's a single mom who raised two girls. Thank goodness she has great friends. She's super healthy. But I thought, what would happen if I reached my age that she's at now, 75, 76 years old, and I was by myself in a retirement home? I was like, no, that's not what I want. So I knew I had to be strategic about creating what I did want. And so women, again, collaborating, right? So speaking to people about how did you get into the real estate ventures that are ventures that make money and that you can eventually use to leverage to get you into a house. And all of the answers, all of the time, were joint ventures, collaborations, a general partnership or limited partnership structure where you're making enough money to then buy a property. But every single time it was about having a team, having a partner, having a joint venture person, but all of it was not doing it alone. And most successful people that you speak to today, go ahead. Well,
I was just going to say, I want to bring out that point because I love it, because many of us feel that because, you don't have a partner, that you're going to be investing alone. And you guys both have smashed that theory. Marie Sept is one of our Ignited members. She smashed that theory. There's so many people that are just like, you know what? Okay, that does not have to mean that you invest alone. And I just wanted to quote a couple things from your chapter, Liza. I found it really interesting, actually. Women work 2/3 of the world's working hours, yet make only 10% of the income, and own less than 20% of the world's property. Crazy to me.
Yeah.
And here's the kicker is they're making that 10%. They're only owning 20% of the world's property, but yet 90% of women are, okay, let me quote it. 90% of women will be solely responsible for their financial well-being within their lifetime. We make the least amount. We work harder, maybe not harder, a lot, and yet we don't have that financial freedom, and yet we're going to have to depend on ourselves. So guys, this book, Ordinary to Extraordinary, shows 10 different women who took that and said, you know what? I'm not happy with what I'm doing for whatever reason, multiple reasons, and different. Everyone's is different. I need to do something different. Donna Cook from Winnipeg, our rent-to-own specialist. Terrible statistics. We have to change that. Yes, Donna, you're right. We got to change it. So yeah, Michelle, she says, I'm going to change that stat. Awesome.
Yep.
All right.
Definitely want to change that stat.
Yes. Now let's talk about the difference in women. I know you mentioned it at the beginning, but you said the difference of, so when a woman invests, she often then turns around and invests that in her community. So how is it that you guys are proving and showing that with what you guys are doing?
Lisa, do you want to take this one
Yeah,
first? You're doing a
absolutely.
lot in your community right
Oh
now.
my goodness. I mean, um, doing good in the community is just one small part, because when you do good to within a community, those people can go out, and it's kind of like a domino effect, right? Then they're healthier, their mental health is better, they're more inspired, they feel supported. You know, if you have a stable home that you can provide to people, then they can be free to be active. They can work on themselves and heal themselves, and they're free to be active in their communities then, right? So it's definitely a domino effect, and that's what we're able to provide with Mimo's Co-Living.
I love it. So your kind of round out kind of thought is that by co-living with other people that choose to co-live, they're not doing it because they have to, but because they want to. I love this part. You said whether they want a village to help raise their children, want to age in place, or simply want supports that a close-knit community brought, they create the intention of a community-oriented co-living house or co-living community. And that's what you've done is
Exactly.
you've chosen, who and what you surround yourself with. And I thought that was so nice, like whether they want to raise their children with family or want to age in place, that span that you can give yourself of different people and backgrounds and environments that you surround yourself with. How beautiful. What a great way to live.
And
So,
actually, Tiffany, some people, they don't even know who they want to live with. They may think they know who they want to live with, but given the opportunity, because our house is like, I don't know, a revolving door of United Nations, everyone has an opportunity to meet people that they would normally not even speak to on the street, you know? So
right.
yeah, it's a wonderful experience to be a multi-generational, multicultural, inclusive household.
So how do you think, I know it helped you guys financially and that sort of thing to be able to pursue. Let's just talk really quickly. Just what are the benefits that you found during the pandemic of, because you both are in co-living situations, correct?
Yeah, so for me, I was living in a giant house. It was actually Michael Bublé's house that I was living in during the pandemic in Burnaby. So Michael was our neighbor, and there were, gosh, I keep losing track. I think there were 8 of us living in the house. And so we had this giant house. Now this was a rental, right? But I mean, it really doesn't matter, right? Like this particular thing was a rental because I was investing in some other things, and I was trying to decide about moving back to Vancouver or moving back to Vancouver Island. But I lived with all kind of different multi-generational people. We had a lady who had dementia, and she just found that it was like so much healthier for her to live in an environment with lots of other people. So she had different stimulation. We had a baby, we watched her grow up for her first couple of years, and just watched her blossom and have such great social skills because she had so many different people to interact with. And yeah, for me personally, like I just love, I've always been a traveler. I've always been a nomad. I've always been a gypsy. I love sitting down and having conversations that you really shouldn't have with people that you've never met before. Politics, philosophy, religion, right? I mean, when you get a group of people that aren't necessarily related, you get to have these amazing conversations that are kind of unfiltered and raw and honest. And you really do learn about what makes the world tick. And it is just, I joke and say that I lived in the biggest co-housing community in the world on a cruise ship with 57 different nationalities and all kinds of hierarchy. And I tell you, when your captain, your boss, your boyfriend, and your ex-boyfriend all live within 30 seconds from you, you really learn a lot about communication, tolerance, being accepting, how we all live. No judgments. I mean, there's all kinds of great lessons that come out of it. It's amazing. So whether you're living in co-housing or wanting to build an intentional community, it's not just about the money. It's about the quality of life. And the quality of life that we're seeing that people who choose to do this have, compared to, for seniors in particular, going into a retirement home, which living through the pandemic, I mean, really, who wants to do that? Who wants to put their parents in a retirement home now. Like most people are taking their parents out.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so for you, Liza, it was about the travel, the adventure, the being a nomad, the not being stuck to one spot. That was what you needed to be able to finance somehow, because that's who you are through and through. And
Exactly.
and Elisa, it was for you. It was taking care of your daughter. You talk about a moment in your life that you realized that things really had to change. And I think that a lot of women and men will really relate to that. So can you tell us about that moment that you talked about in the book?
For sure. Call it midlife crisis or opportunities as they present themselves. But yeah, as my marriage was imploding and my daughter got accepted into a school that was not in our home city, which was Vancouver, I realized that overnight I'm going to become an empty nester and single and free and no strings attached. And so I thought, what am I going to do? And for the first time in my adult life, I had the opportunity to choose. And that was really scary, actually, without having a game plan or a journey that set out with all the shoulds. That's how I had been living my life all along, was acting out all the shoulds. Then now I'm in control of my own destiny, and well, what the hell do I do? So coming to Toronto and then, having the path that I had, and then getting into the habit of taking control was very, very helpful also. That led me to this journey of understanding that I needed tools, and having a conversation with Liza. I'm so glad that I had met her in Toronto, and the collaboration that she was creating with WREN, within WREN. I that really gave me the confidence, and I didn't feel that I was so alone. And for me to go forward with real estate as the tool to create an atmosphere or an environment where I didn't have to be alone.
That's awesome. Yeah. And I love that you created it. And you just said something too. You said, like, I had to get used to, what did you say? Make the habit of taking charge or something.
Yeah.
Being in control. Yeah. Like, it's true. Because
Taking
sometimes we
control.
just think that life happens to us, but certainly every one of the women in this book showed that certainly it doesn't. And I thought it was interesting that each of us have our own reasons. Brett, I just kind of read through her chapter, like just a tiny bit of it. And hers was all about, like, environmentally friendly housing and that sort of thing. That was really important to her. So it doesn't have to be the same thing that's driving us, yet it seems to be the same thing that's providing the solutions and the results for us. So I just read a couple of the comments here. Women have the deepest conversations together. So true, especially over a glass of vino, right, Donna? And I see Liza's got one going on here. So Sarah, you're hilarious. You're also motivational. She says, "I am woman, hear me roar." It's so funny. And often women feel that we need permission from someone to pursue what we want. And that's talked about in the book too, guys. Liza talks about being, like, unabashedly going after your dreams or going after wealth in whatever way that might be for you, I think is how you put it. So how many of you guys have come to a spot in your life where you're like, you know what? This isn't working for me and I'm stuck and I have no choices right now. And I'm, like Elisa, I'm, just out from a divorce. My daughter's moved across the country. My mom's just passed away. I no longer am a caregiver like I was before. Now, what am I? Who am I? What worth do I have? Exactly. I remember when our little guy went to kindergarten, I was like that because he went to kindergarten. Like, how many times do we see that? Totally been there. Someone says, come on, thumbs up, heart showers. Come on, ladies. And guys, this isn't specific to women. It really isn't. This book is about women, but it is not specific. So come on, guys. I want to see those thumbs ups, those yes, those yay, those, heck yeah, right? And who's going to be willing to change that? And this book is definitely a catalyst for that. I felt in just the 2 chapters that I read, I felt that, like, yeah, heck yeah. Like, you don't like what's going on in your life right now, don't wait for someone else to change it, because you're going to be waiting a really long time. But we can do it. Yeah, there we go, guys. Thanks. Got some hearts.
And we're really seeing that, Tiffany, as people come out of COVID. We're seeing two things. We're seeing people who are depending on the government to take care of them and make all the decisions and keep their heads stuck in the sand. And we're seeing people who are seeing that there's an opportunity here to, like, okay, if this is how things are going to be, if another pandemic comes around and, you know, I'm going to lose my job and I'm going to lose my income, what am I going to do to set myself up to succeed? And one of the things that you'll notice in the book is that, you know, all of the people in the book and people who are actively invested and involved in their life, rather than, you know, it's like going to the doctor and asking for a prescription, or going to the doctor and saying, you know, this is what I want to do to get better. Will you support me in this? Right. So it's just a huge message that we have to design and create our own lives. We have to design and create our own futures. We have to hang out with people who have done it, are doing it, and will continue to do it, because that's the only way we all get ahead. And that's, you know, again, another big message that we put out there daily and obviously put out in the book.
Absolutely. And you know what? If you don't have that kind of tribe to support you, that's one of the benefits that I found being a WREN member, is that you have our weekly meetings in the beginning were so incredibly helpful for me, you know, just to reinforce that. And someone to ask also, you know, I'm doing this, and is that okay? Or not even asking, and then Liza would say, "No, Elisa, stop. What about this? Did you consider that?"
Yeah, finding your tribe is huge. You know, find your tribe. You know, join a team, join a network, find your tribe. That's huge. And you guys who are on know this, right? I mean, you see what Corey and Tiffany and their tribe are doing, and you know, we all started somewhere, and the tribe is a big part of how we got started. We got started because people had our backs, and if we fall down, we didn't fall down by ourselves.
Absolutely. Yeah. Hey, I got something to show you. I was trying to figure out how to get it on the computer. I can't, so I'm just going to show you this right here. Wait, just wait. Where's the little tag that I'm looking? Where's my finger? This is all backwards. Hang on.
I can almost see it. Can you see that? #1 bestseller.
That's awesome.
Orange. Yeah.
We're pretty darn excited about that. Yeah.
Pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So, thank you, Elaine. Elaine says, "You guys are beautiful inside and out. You inspire me." So that's awesome. Fellow WREN members from Victoria. Awesome. You guys are beautiful inside and out. Jupita says she's from Lloydminster. She's a mover and a shaker. Holy smokes. Jupita's creating her own future too. It's crazy.
Nice.
So I have a question for you, Liza. So I haven't had a chance to go through the whole book, but so you got, you know, Elise talks about co-housing and how that has changed. I know Brett talks quite a bit about environmentally friendly development of property and making sure that all the wildlife around there gets to stay in their homes and that sort of thing. What are some of the other chapters about?
So we've got Darlene wrote about her passion for creating seniors housing. So Darlene built seniors housing in Moncton, New Brunswick. So she walks us through basically that whole process of how she started. She started, I think, her first her first thing that she ever did, she renovated a mobile home, and she moved up to building, like groundbreaking building, getting funding for, setting the business up and staffing a small seniors home, and then actually selling the whole turnkey business. So, you know, that's one story. Sherry Krause out here on the West Coast. Sherry has built over 300 rental units with her husband and joint venture partners and limited partners. She's built, you know, I think she's on her 5 or 6 rental right now. And we just bought another property together up in Campbell River to build townhouses up there. So Sherry builds purpose-built rentals. Ava's investing in the United States. So for people who are like, well, I can't get cash flow in Canada. So there's lots of cash flow in the US because it's so much cheaper to get in down there. So she's focused on investing in the US. Kelly, of course, Kelly Fry in Coquitlam, though I'm sure most of you on the call know Kelly. Kelly has been doing incredible. She's really loving the whole Airbnb thing right now. And a lot of people were really concerned about Airbnb through the pandemic. But again, it's that opportunity. It's a lot of people needed to stay where they were, but outside of their home. So for example, contractors and nurses and doctors that were coming over to service people in outside of their own community, but maybe in, like, let's say Abbotsford, they needed places to stay for 3 to 6 months. And so she just killed it on her executive rentals. So, I mean, we really tried to cover a lot of different topics and show that it doesn't have to be a one size fits all, right? Like it could be, you know, flipping, it could be renovating, it could be buy and hold, it could be a particular structure that you really like you really just want to do passive investing. Jody, of course, Jody Verturl talks about private lending and how to become a private lender for people who want to be completely hands off. So yeah, we've really tried to cover a number of different opportunities and styles of investing. So we think we've got something for everyone, and whatever we've missed, we'll put in the next book.
Already, hey Liza. Okay, so just you know how this is, how we see it. I'm divorced, alone, and physically challenged. I'm working full time. Yeah, I'm doing my best. I'm slower, but 3 different deals. I can't see the name, but I'm pretty sure I know who you are. Yeah, she says, you girls. Yeah, so like, yay, you girls. Karina, she had said before, like, yeah, with me and Marie, she's like, we're kicking it. And it's true. Her and Marie, they were both investing on their own, come together, and holy smokes, they're a power to be reckoned with. So I think, if anything comes of this conversation, what I'm hoping that it comes out of it is, for one, you know, you have to create your life. You guys both have created those communities and created that from the idea and the concept, and brought people together to make sure that that happened, so that you can get what you want and help others get what they want along the way. And secondly, that all of us come from a different challenge. We all had challenges along our way. Elisa, I found it interesting that you were talking about, you know, being an immigrant family when you were younger, and you didn't quite fit anywhere, it seems. You know, yeah, like that's tough stuff to come through, and then be able to feel that you can take charge when that's how you're feeling, right?
I mean, there's so many immigrants who are still coming to Canada, right? And, you know, whether or not they're able to get a job right away in their field, or make the same income as what they were enjoying before they arrived in Canada, you know,
right.
Real estate is something, you know, at least owning their own principal home is something that's important. But to go one step further and actually invest in real estate is a different story too, right? So some of them may not consider that as an option.
And to put a spin on that too, right? Like sometimes if you're in a really expensive market like Vancouver, I mean, I just met a woman in Victoria who's renting for $1,000 a month, right? That in Victoria is dirt cheap, because the average 1-bedroom now is $1,600. So she's like, I got to invest. I'm like, yeah, you have to stay where you are in your rental and invest to your rental something else. So it's also, you know, flipping that whole, it doesn't have to be your principal residence. Start investing first, and your principal residence might actually give you the leverage, or sorry, your investment properties may actually give you the leverage and the money to be able to buy your principal residence when you want to, need to, have to, you know, whatever. I mean, I'm looking at buying in Mexico before I actually buy in Victoria. So, you know, you've lots of different ways to look at it.
Yeah, pretty cool. Donna just made a comment here too, and Donna's got a pretty cool program too. And that's the thing; it's just all about how we decide to create, right? So Donna created rent-to-own programs for immigrant families, and you know, they're going to own their own homes much sooner than they would have before. And then she gets to help these amazing humans, and you know, they just love her. I mean, you're the hero. Like, who doesn't want to be the hero? It's pretty sweet.
That's awesome. And I think that's one of the awesome things that, you know, when we talk about women invest differently, and again, I'm not saying that men don't do this, but women do tend to look at things more holistically. So it's, you know, if I build this, what's going to be the impact? Can I help someone, right? I mean, right now we're looking at a portfolio of properties where there's a boarding house. Elisa, I haven't even told you this. There's an 11-room boarding house that might be something that would work for our philanthropic end, but it also comes with a luxury 5-bedroom house right on the waterfront that's a heritage home that, you know, those of us who want the big house and the mansion, I call it the BFF mansion, we can live in that, right? So we can live in the house and we can buy the other one, and it's, you know, the win-win-win-win-win, the 5 wins.
Yeah, pretty sweet. So I loved this point too from, I think, Liza, this was from the end of your chapter. I said, if you're a woman who wants to do good in the world, know that it is much easier to accomplish this when you have already looked after your own personal and financial needs. And I thought that was profound too, because sometimes we think that we just want to give, but we are in a much better position to give and to rally that support when we have taken care of things ourselves. So loved that too. So guys, thank you for joining me. Congratulations on being the #1 bestseller today in 3 different categories on Amazon within like just a few hours. Craziness. So the link, guys, today only, it's under $3, $2.60 Canadian. You said it's $1.97 American for today only.
Exactly. Yeah,
it's launched
24 or 48 hours, and then the price starts to go up, and the printed version will have it, all of the launches coming up in the next couple weeks.
All right, and when are those launches? Let's talk about that. If you guys are going to be around.
Yeah. So we will be doing a live launch in Victoria on October 1st. We'll be doing a live launch in Vancouver at Kelly Fry's office in Port Coquitlam on October 14th. And we'll be doing, depending on how things go with COVID, we'll be joining Elisa in Toronto on October 28th. Now that date might get moved around a little bit. We'll see how it goes. Tiffany, who knows, maybe we'll fly out and join you and do a launch from the Rockstar bus somewhere exciting along the way, just for fun.
Heck yeah. We've actually been having a blast. Like I don't like, I get motion sick driving, so I don't like driving or being in a vehicle, but this is like, we've got the tunes rolling and we're like, you know, the highways in front of us, and it's just like this big, huge windshield. And it's actually been pretty sweet already. So we're only 2 days in. We're actually, thanks for the reminder. We're heading out to, we'll be doing a meetup in Brampton on Saturday. So if anyone is in the area, come and meet up with us. We'll be doing like a little family style kind of picnic meetup. Bring a chair, bring your kids if you want. We've got our little man Chico. He'll be coming with us to bring your pets too if you want. Somebody asked, what was that quote? If you're a woman who wants to do good in the world, and this is from Liza's chapter. Is that right, Liza?
Yes.
If you're a woman who wants to do good in the world, know that it is much easier to accomplish this when you have already looked after your own personal and financial needs. So don't worry about being selfish, guys. That's part of our plight as women. Sometimes we feel selfish or greedy for going after what we want or what we need. And certainly not to the detriment of others. That is not good. That's not right. But if you really want to help others, you can be in a better position to do so.
Yeah.
If you're in a good position yourself.
Exactly. It's about putting yourself first. Once you put yourself first and you look after your own needs, you're in, from a mental and financial capacity, you're in a far better position to help other people when you're healthy and you're wealthy in whatever that means to you, right? It's like the tired mom who can't look after her child well. It's people who give all their money away when they don't have money to give, right? So it's put yourself first, and that will set you up to be able to do so much more good in the world. You just can't even comprehend how much great you can do in the world when you put yourself first.
Yeah, look at this, exactly. Michelle, you're right. Put your own oxygen mask on first.
I was just going to say that.
Totally.
Yeah.
There you
exactly.
Go. All right.
Okay,
any words, guys? Anything that you want to share with people before we head off?
I just want to say that if you're thinking about making a change, my whole chapter is about creating change. But if you're thinking about making a change and it seems scary, then just reach out to somebody. Just find a buddy, even a stranger, actually, and ask them, what do you think about my idea? Right? I think you might be pleasantly surprised.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, very
So,
cool. And
Liza?
I think if there's two things I can say, I mean, the number one thing would be, I'm all about, the remote lifestyle, the location independence. So if you want to be part of a tribe who owns a giant mansion together, and we have a pool boy and a yoga instructor and a chef, then like reach out, because we're going to start buying these BFF mansions in Italy and Spain and Australia. Well, Australia is really hard. Mexico, we've already got one that we're looking at in Mexico. Reach out, right? We want more of these. We want to own multiple properties around the world so we can leapfrog each other and share them all. And yeah, just find your tribe and find your team, and don't be afraid to step out on the skinny branches and reach out. I mean, that's really all it takes.
How do they find you? Oh my gosh, Donna, I knew you were going to comment. I totally knew Donna was going to comment.
Yeah, I knew it. A hot pool boy.
I knew it. I should have put money on it. Okay, so how do they reach you, Liza? I mean, WREN is .com.
Yeah, it's actually .club. So the easiest way to reach me, it's we are a club, so we got the club moniker. So it's ren.club. 4 letters, that's all, or 8 letters. That's all you need to remember. If you want to email me, it's the same. It's 8 letters as well. It's liza@ren.club. And a little more than 8 letters, but yeah, liza@ren.club gets me. Ren.club is the page. And of course, all of the information for the book and the live launches and everything that's coming up will be there. And yeah, I mean, we're so excited. We're so excited to be here. And Tiffany, I just have to say once again, I'm so honored that you chose to participate in the book, and Elisa, just your whole immigrant story, sharing that. Here are 2 great women who doing things completely differently, right? We're all doing it so differently. And there is no wrong way. There's just a way to get started, and just that's all you got to do, right? Don't worry about the mistakes that happen along the way. We all make tons of mistakes, but definitely, just get started and know that you've got hundreds of people that you can reach out to who want to see you rise, right? I mean, we're all about support. We do not condone any of the putting of each other down. Like, that does not happen. Like, it's all lifting each other up, being vulnerable, being real, and getting shit done.
And thanks
in the words of Liza Rogers.
Thanks for the opportunity as well to be included, to be featured with all these wonderful co-authors also who are living their best lives, right? Yeah, right. Or creating on the journey. Yeah. And it's so nice to meet you. Thanks for having us, Tiffany.
Oh yeah, thank you for being with us. I'll just close up here, guys, just so you know. Next week we are having Single Key. So Single Key is that tenant screening platform. We're having Single Key on. They're going to come on. They're going to do a demo. We get to ask them all kinds of questions. And they're going to be announcing a special discount for Fearless members. So join next Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern, just the same as this Tuesday. Our Igniteds, we will see you over in Laser. We've got a couple of interesting questions to hit up tonight, so that's great. And for the rest of you guys, let's see you on Saturday in Brampton. We'll see you at 2 p.m. We're going to be there for quite into the evening. We made it early because if you wanted to bring their kids and thought, that's easier. But we're going to be there into the evening, have a fire going and that sort of thing. So if you're in the GTA, come and join us. Come say hi. And yes, Donna, you too. And we'll see you guys next week, okay? So everyone, cheers, everyone. Congrats on Get That Book, Beautiful. Ordinary to Extraordinary. Congrats, guys, and we will see you next week.
Thank you. Bye, everybody.